patterns and so that you are better able to make decisions for your business. So we have a wide range of folks on the call today from all different kind of industries. So we may try to use examples based on different industries as we move forward. So that is our goal today. Ryan is going to, let me switch presenters here so that he can show you. There we go. So I'm going to switch presenting here. Ryan will be able to demonstrate, pretty quickly just what the Talkdesk interface looks like for the agents, but we are really going to focus on the analytics portion as described in the session materials. So Ryan, take it away. It's all yours.
Awesome. Thanks, Eric. So just to make sure you can see my screen okay, and you can hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So as Eric mentioned, we're going to be covering the highlights of kind of the agent experience, looking at how they interface or interact with the customers, and how data can help enrich not only their experience in helping the customer, but then also how that information that's captured you can use to gather insights, generate report and analytics, and go down, as Eric mentioned, into that speech analytics and really dive deep into why your customers are calling, and also look at how your agents are performing consistently
Ryan,
across all the calls.
You really make a good point there. I didn't even, right off the bat, you made a great point there. Information, a lot of times we think of data and information as after the fact, but to your point, you can actually enrich the live interaction with your customers with additional data as well. That is an excellent point that appreciate you covering that. So it's information real time to coach and help the agents, and also analytics after the fact so that you can plan and scale and do those other data dips and analytics. So great point.
Thanks. All right, so what we'll do first is we'll start from the omni-channel experience and looking at the digital channels. That's what I'm showing here is our omni-channel application for the agents. And as I'm coming in as a supervisor, so I can see the queue and all the different channels that are available. With Talkdesk, one point of clarification, you'll hear me refer to everything as a chat. Because we can handle, SMS, we look at SMS, Facebook, live chat, Twitter, email, WhatsApp, APIs, and Apple Business Chat. We can handle all those interactions from the same interface. So for consistency, we call everything a chat. So as I go through the omni-channel presentation, whenever I'm referring to a chat, it's because we empower your agents to handle all those conversations together. Now, as I come into the queue, I can see which contacts are waiting or which different channels and customers are there. Now with it, you can set up to have your agents come in and manually pick which calls or chats they want to interact with, or you can use a skill-based routing, have these delivered to your agents. And so I'll show an experience here of a contact being routed to an agent or a chat being routed to an agent here and how they would work in that chat conversation. So once I've assigned it to my queue, I can come here and as an agent, now I can see the different channels and different conversations that are out there. Once I go ahead and click into the conversation, this is where I'll start to see the chat thread coming through. So I'll have information first about the contact's name, and then I'll have the information that they've posted to the start of the thread here. Now I can start replying back to the customer, just typing in freeform text, hello, or I can also use templates as well. And if you notice here, when I go through and I'll type in the template, we're actually able to pull in the customer's name. This is because we have the ability to tie in different pieces of information into those templates to have it automatically fill out for your agent, making it easier for them to respond and reply back to your customers. So instead of having to manually type it in, makes them more efficient. I can also go through and either using emojis, or I can also put in attachments here into the thread as well. Now, as an agent, when I come through, I have everything is timestamped, so I can see every action that's taking place. So not only for myself, but anyone else who may come into it, we have that history of what's taking place within that conversation. On the top here, we have the ability to set flags. Now, think of flags as a way of marking a status of a chat conversation. And this is something that can help not only for you, but communicate information out. Maybe it's an escalation, things are starting to get a little heated, you want to bring awareness to it. I can go ahead and mark that. That will actually indicate an escalation flag onto the conversation. So if anyone's looking at that conversation, they would see that this is kind of becoming an escalation. And this information is also available for reporting as well. So that way you can look back and find these escalations or certain flag statuses. You can also go and add personal notes into the conversation here. So as an agent, if I want to maybe leave some details about the conversation, and I don't want this to go out to the customer, but maybe another agent, or I'm coming back at a later time, I can type in some notes. And you notice because the screen has changed color, I'm confident that I'm not sending this to the customer. Those are just items that are being added into the notes. And when I go back to the conversation, you can see that's been timestamped in here as well. I can go ahead and add dispositions or tags, and these can be items that can be used for reporting as well. So if you're looking at trending information, this is where the agent can start to go through and add in some of those tags so that you can use it for reporting and tracking later on as well. I can also do various actions. So if I want to transfer or maybe email the customer the transcript, or if I want to trigger an event, maybe create a case in Salesforce or do a Salesforce data dip to bring back information, those are actions I can do here as well. Having that ability to move the data helps your agents be more efficient here. The last piece on the top here is I can go ahead and either put the contact or the chat on hold or close it out. With digital interactions, you always don't know when that conversation ends. So the agent, if it's closed or they resolve the issue, they go ahead and close it. Or if the customer stopped responding, they may want to put it on hold for a little bit. So you can go ahead and manually do that. Or you can also set up system rules that after a period of time and no responses, it'll automatically either hold or close those out. Now on the right-hand side, we have customer detail information. So here I can see the customer's name. I can go ahead and put in information about the contact. Actually, let me go ahead and jump into this conversation here. Show a little bit more detail on the customer record. So here I can go ahead and view previous chats. So this is a great way of helping your agents be more efficient. So within the omnichannel application, I can easily go through and look at all the different conversations because I've tied the records together. I can look at when the customer called or sent us SMS, where they called about on this conversation or a particular one. Helping your agents have that linear history of all of those conversations helps them really go through and research the interactions and improve the customer experience. You can also add customer notes. So these are records that are out there as well. So agents can come in at a different time. They always have these reference notes that can help improve the customer experience as well. And that's where we talk about having data easily available to your agents to get not only where they're at for the current interaction, but if they want to get background and history of the customer's interactions, maybe there's relevant cases that have happened before, they're easily able to go through and get that historical information, better serve the customer at the time. The other thing that we have here is we have capturing all the data from the different channels that the customer calls through. So I can see if they send an email or a mobile number or what type of live chat, what different channels they're communicating us with. This also allows us to then elevate and continue the conversation regardless of the channel that they're on. So in this case, if I'm texting with the customer and they want to go ahead and elevate and say, you know what, hey, can we make this a phone call? Using our click to call, I could actually go ahead and click here and place an outbound call and start that phone conversation with the customer. I also have the ability to elevate maybe to a different channel as well. So if I wanted to come in and maybe initiate a new SMS conversation with the customer, Facebook, Twitter, email, or WhatsApp, I can easily go ahead and do that, put in the information, hit start, create the chat, and that will go ahead and initiate a new conversation with the customer. So it gives your agents that flexibility that if the customer called you or contacted you on one medium, you're able to elevate to another digital channel very easily to continue the conversation with the customer and helps to resolve any issues.
Yeah, we find Ryan that customers a lot of times they're already doing chat or they're already doing email or they already have a Facebook page and Twitter. But we typically find, and a lot of times you think of your marketing department as a completely separate group, but they're also a lot of times in these social media platforms handling customer questions and queries and complaints in different platforms. And what the omni-channel screen allows your agents is to log into a single pane of glass for all of those digital interactions to come into a single place. Because today, if I don't have this unified omni-channel view, I've got to log into Facebook, I've got to log into Twitter, I've got to go check my email, I've got to log into the chat window. So this really simplifies and makes this idea of pivoting between channels much easier, but also just much more efficient for your agents because they're not having to log into so many different places. And you can see how you can simply add channels as your customer service organization or your sales organization or your marketing organization matures to be able to add some of these digital channels. You can start with just voice, and then you can slowly add in the other digital channels as well. So we've seen it create a lot of efficiencies for our customers as well.
No, I agree. Having that unified experience instead of having all those separate, disproportionate, not only does it create for a more difficult time of handling the customer, but having that data separated out doesn't give that holistic picture of the customer experience. And having that complete picture provides your agents the right information to better serve your customers. So what I'll do now is I'll actually go ahead and pivot, and I'll show from an inbound voice perspective. And I'll do that using our Talkdesk call bar application. Let me go ahead and just bring that onto the screen.
So for those who are not familiar with the Talkdesk solution, I know some of our customers are really familiar with it because they use it. The call bar is you can almost view it like a soft phone. So it's the audio control of the application for agents that allows a lot of power in that tool. In fact, in our current state of our country with the virus that we're all sort of navigating, we've had customers say, transitioning from my on-site call center to my scattered call center where people are working out of their homes, because this is 100% web-based and that Talkdesk is an IP-based soft phone, people just went home. They went home and logged onto their PCs, and their contact center continued to operate without any disruption to their business. So the reason that the Talkdesk call bar is so powerful is that it's not integrated with a device per se. You can do that. I mean, there's mobile apps, and you can have the call bar on your iPhone or your Android, or you could have it tied to your home phone or other phones that way. But the simplicity and the elegance in the solution is that you can really just go anywhere that you have a decent internet connection, and have your contact center operate 100% functionality out of the gate. So we've had customers make that actual move here within the last month or so as they're dispersing their contact center in order to shelter at home and keep the curve flat. So
no, I agree. It's a very useful application. And also one other item just to add in, the soft phone application has this functionality of always on top. So as the agents are moving through, they always have quick and easy access to that soft phone application and the call controls. Instead of having it embedded, potentially having it lost in different browsers, having that always on top functionality makes it very easy for your agents to do their work and then quickly have those call controls and responding back to customers. So what I'll do here is I'll go ahead and throw a call in just to showcase the power of having the data being available for your customers or for your agents. So let me go ahead and put a call in here. And as this call comes in, you'll notice we have this information coming through here. I'll go ahead and answer the call. I'll just place it on hold really quick so we don't have the ringing. Okay, when the call first pops up, we have the caller snapshot. This is information that's presented to your agent to help them understand information about the contact when it first comes in. So here I can get automatically information about what ring group it came through, what was wait time, what's the customer number they're calling from, and the caller ID. And I can also quickly copy this from a click if I need to save that, maybe use it for somewhere else. But I can also do additional things. In this case, we're doing a Salesforce data dip, pulling in information to present to your agent right when that call comes in. So here I can see, hey, is this a VIP customer? Do I have certain things I want to do for this customer because their status? Or maybe they have a certain support level that I want to have awareness so I know what I'm offering this customer or certain actions I should take place. This is information I can have right available and always available to your agents even before the contact has popped up. And if you'll notice that the contact, we haven't popped the contact here, that's because at least in this demo instance, I've set it up to where I manually initiate by a click on the Salesforce cloud here. And this gives your agents that flexibility if they're working on a previous call or maybe adding some notes in. They don't want to have that next call come in and override what they're currently working on and maybe getting lost or having multiple windows open up. This gives your agents that flexibility to finish the work they're doing, and when they're ready to go ahead and pop that contact. I can go ahead and do that for you here. Now, on the left-hand side here, we have the ability to add dispositions and notes. And the advantage here is you can actually do this during the call. You don't have to wait until after the call is done, during that wrap-up time to add those dispositions and notes. You can do it during the call, helping your agents be more efficient. Go ahead and notes. Okay. Now with the call bar, we have the standard call controls. You have the keypad, this on hold, mute. You can add a guest for conference calls. And you can add a lot of conference call, different agents on this one. So if you need to have a lot of people on, that conference call functionality scales to meet your needs. And you can also do transfers. You can do warm and blind transfers. So if I need to go ahead and transfer it, I can either transfer it to an agent. And the nice thing here, it'll show you the status of your agents. So in this case, I can see Anna here. She's available where other agents are not. Or I can go ahead and start typing in and saying, hey, is this agent I'm looking for available? If not, maybe I want to transfer to a ring group or to an external number. Once I have it set, I can go ahead and hit transfer, and the call's on its way. Now, the last thing I'll go ahead and do is I'll jump in to a case here. I want to show the power of the integration we have with Salesforce and other applications. Once I go ahead and end this call, you'll notice that the related to case field automatically populates here. That's because it's presence aware of what case you're working in or where you're working in within Salesforce. So instead of having your agents manually fill that out, it has that awareness to fill it out for you. But if I need to, I can always go ahead and change it, select a different case to have the call be related to. Now with Talkdesk, we have a unique piece of information that helps to enrich your data, and that's what we're talking about here is having additional data to help your agents and to improve overall performance. So just as you have an after call survey which captures the voice of the customer, we offer what's called the contact's mood. And this is the agent's perception of the interaction with the customer. So when the call was done, did the agent think the customer left happy, sad, maybe really pissed off or angry here, or couldn't quite tell? This is information that the agent can capture, and then you can compare it to the actual survey information itself. So if you have an agent saying, hey, every customer is happy, but the survey's results are saying that it's not, that's a good coaching opportunity for your agents to show that there's a disconnect and how you can help improve that customer experience and better connect.
Hey Ryan,
And
there was a question. You touched on it real briefly. You said integration with Salesforce and other applications. So there's a question. What are the requirements for integrating with a non-Salesforce application?
so we have a lot of integrations out of the box. We have 20 or so different integrations that are available. And then we also have a suite of APIs that are available if there's anything that we don't have out of the box. But we do offer a wide variety of integrations that are available. And I can show those here in a little bit once we start going into the admin section a little bit.
Yeah, I would just say to the person who asked that question, we can look at your specific CRM or your whatever application you're looking to get integrated with, and as long as it does have APIs and capabilities that way, it's a good chance we can create this similar type of interaction. The Talkdesk product is very deeply and richly integrated with Salesforce. So if you have Salesforce today, that's a slam dunk. If it's and there's a list of other applications that are similar to that, but if your application is not specifically listed within the Talkdesk integration website, we can have a discussion and do an evaluation to determine viability. Thanks. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yep, no, that's a great call out because we're built on a modern REST API framework. So as long as your systems have API access, there's a good chance we can do that integration. Okay. Then once I go ahead and I log the call, that information will automatically be synced over into Salesforce. So if I want to, I can go ahead and look at that information. And having your data synchronized into a single source of truth allows you to get additional reporting and insights than you would having that separate. So first I'll go ahead and jump in to the record here and just show some of the details. So here we have information about the call, the direction, the notes. I have access to the call recording, the survey information, and then the mood. And then I also have the routing information here with the key metrics and SLA and transfer data. Now, having this information in your CRM allows you to create some unique reporting items here, and I'll show one of these here today. So we'll look at the Talkdesk sales dashboard. This is one that we've put together. It kind of showcases the power of combining the data from your CRM and your IVR and ACD. So here in the top left, we're looking at something like average calls per conversion. So conversion is a sales metric, something you get for your CRM, and you're able to bring in your call data to see how many calls does it take to get a conversion, or how long is it taking from a talk time to have those conversions take place. By having the ability with our APIs to have that data move to other sources as well, allows you to consolidate information to generate insights you normally wouldn't have by having those data sources separate. And that's the power of having that integration. So I'll continue on and move more into a supervisor role now, I think, and we'll look at more of the reporting and analytics capabilities. Eric, unless there's anything else we want to cover here before, or any other questions before we transition.
Let's see here. No questions so far. Just a comment. This dashboard is a Salesforce dashboard, pre-built, right, Ryan? If you're already a Talkdesk customer and a Salesforce customer, this is an easy dashboard to enable. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the other analytics that are available in the platform. If you don't have a data analytics portal like Salesforce or some other dashboard tool, the Talkdesk platform has its own built in as well. So I think that's what we're going to show a little bit today.
Yeah, and that's what we'll transition to, is showing the native applications and reporting analytics functions within Talkdesk and the power that we have with our own built-in BI tool.
Great.
So we'll go ahead and jump over to there. We'll first start with our live dashboards. This is our real-time dashboards here. And let me go ahead and actually just get this set up really quick.
Yeah, just a quick comment, right? You've got live dashboards that answer the question, what's happening right now in the contact center? And then you have historical reports that show you what happened yesterday, right? So there's different levels of analytics. One is kind of current, like the dashboard in your car. How fast am I going? What are my RPMs? What's my current mileage? Those types of things. But then you also have historical reporting. So a couple different levels, and even some forecasting capabilities with some integration where you can predict the future and say, all right, based on past performance, these are the types of resources I'm going to need for future events. So you can look at the reporting from the history, from current, and then predicting future resource requirements as well.
No, that's a great call out. And with our real-time dashboards, this is what looks at the now, and then we'll look at Explore, which gives that historical. But when we talk about historical, a lot of times people think of, historical as the information is updated every 24 hours or 4 hours every hour. With Talkdesk, we're looking at that historical information being updated within seconds. So you're able to get that combination of that historical data with that almost real-time information on that historical side. But we'll get to that in just a moment here. So we'll show the live dashboard. And there's two different types of metrics that we have here in the live. First, you'll have the tiles that say this live icon on it. This is information as it happens. This is event-based driven. So anytime something happens, that information automatically updates. The other piece of information we have are more like averages, things that update at maybe a little bit of a slower rate. And you can see it by the clock icon. And when you hover over the clock icon, it'll tell you when's the last update and when's the next update scheduled to take place. And typically it's about every 2 minutes. Now with the dashboards, you can create multiple different views. So if I want to have different ones based off of maybe teams or departments, I can easily set those up and switch between the different views to make sure I have the right dashboard I'm looking for. I can filter by team and by ring group, and then I can edit which metrics are being displayed on each of the different tiles. So let's say I wanted to go ahead and change this particular tile here, the agents, maybe I wanted a little bit different view. I can go into the edit mode, and from here, I could choose different metrics, different breakouts, and visualizations. And each of the ones that I choose, you'll notice that based off the metric I select, it'll tell me if that's updated every 2 minutes or if it's a real-time or a live metric. So if I click on live, it'll tell you it's live. And then all you have to do is select which type of visualization you like, hit save, and that'll change it for you. Now with our
You know, one
calls,
thing, let me
okay.
point out something here real quick. You know, IPC, we've been doing this a while with with multiple products. And one of the reasons that we have been so drawn to the Talkdesk platform is this concept of clicks, not code, right? He's not having to develop SQL queries and codes and writing to be able to make these changes. Right? It's very simple to use. A lot of things in the platform that you just don't have to know the technical aspects of querying and presenting data because that work has been done for you. And so it's one of the reasons that IPC has chosen to be a direct partner with Talkdesk, because we've seen a lot of different products and none of them have quite this ease of use and switching and navigating to make it precisely what you need for your business, making those changes on the fly. It's a testament to how quickly he's able to do these things, right? With simple clicks and all the information is clearly displayed. It's written in English, not Klingon or some crazy language, and it's just simple to use. So the clicks, not code idea behind Talkdesk is very foundational and very important to point out.
No, I agree, and that's what you'll see throughout the demonstration is we try to make things as simple as possible, and that ease of use and the clicks not code is definitely the mantra that we have here at Talkdesk. And to kind of carry into that conversation, we look at some of the drill through capabilities of the reporting application here as well. So if I'm looking at, hey, I've got a lot of calls in queue, I've got an agent that's maybe away, I want to quickly see what agents, I can actually drill in, simple click, I can get all my agents that are away, I can see their names, I can see what ring groups they're signed into, and if I need to, I could go ahead and change their state from here and go ahead and make those changes, or I can go ahead and look at all of my agents. It's very easy, and I can also go ahead and broadcast a message since we're integrated in Slack. So we have that API, we're very API friendly. We can integrate with a lot of applications. I can go ahead and send them all a message here saying, hey, we've got a lot of calls in queue. Let's work through them and have that broadcast message. On the right-hand side, I have that same drill through capabilities. I can click into my calls. I can see all the contact names, what ring groups are coming through, and how long they've been in the queue waiting, or if they're being handled, who's currently handling those contacts as well. Very easy to get in, get that information. And this is information as it happens, so there's no delay. You're seeing what's happening in your queues at this time. That's what makes it very powerful to monitoring what's happening in the now. Now, if we want, we'll move a little bit more into the historical reporting, and that's under the Explorer tab here. Now, with Talkdesk, we offer out of the box 27 different default dashboards and reports. When we think about a dashboard, it's just summary information, it's visualizations, it's rolled up data. With reporting, we talk about more as that Excel style, raw detail, list view of all the different columns and information you need to generate reports, or get down into a little bit more of the details of what's taking place. And then we have a couple different reports here I'll show. First is the service level one. This is a very easy report. You're able to come in with the reports, you have different filters. So you can choose, do I want to look at it from maybe a day, week, month, year? You can easily pull that information in, add some additional filters, get the report set up the way you like. And then once you have it ready, instead of having to come back in and keep running the same report, the great thing about data and the way the Talkdesk platform is set up is we want to make it easy for you. You shouldn't have to keep coming in and running reports to try and get data. We want to make sure that data can be set up and automatically delivered to you so you can spend more time focusing on your business than trying to run and generate reports. So here I can either download it, send it as an email, or I can go and do this scheduling here. On the scheduling, all I have to do is pick who I want it to go to, what format, how often do I want the report to run? Is it daily, weekly, monthly? Maybe I want this to run every 5 minutes, constantly have those reports going out. I can send myself a test message, and then once I'm done, hit save, and that's ready to go. Another great report I'll show is let me go ahead and bring this up, is our Studio Flow execution report. This is a great report that helps you get insights of how your customers are going through the IVR. What steps are they taking, and how long are they spending on each step? So if you're looking at, hey, you're seeing a lot of abandoned calls, and you're trying to figure out where customers may be abandoning or spending a lot of time, you want to improve your IVR, this is the report you'll go in and get those deep insights. So you can come in, get information about the IDs, what number called, what flow they interacted with, and each component and the step and the axis that they took. So if I'm looking at a particular interaction, we'll drop down here because you can see it has multiple steps here, going all the way from 8 different steps, and I can see how long the customer spent on each step and the different paths that they took. So if I want to look at how do I improve my IVR to make a better customer experience, this is the kind of data you can use to optimize that IVR performance and see where customers may be experiencing pain in your IVR.
Yeah, sometimes when we've designed IVRs, right, you sometimes create bottlenecks by just the flow. And if you don't have the analytics to see the bottleneck goes undetected, and you have a customer service issue and you don't really know why. And so this execution report is so helpful in fine tuning and making sure that hey, this step is confusing, or people miss this step because of maybe how it's described in the IVR, or is there a quicker way? Do we have to go through 1, 2, and 3, or can we just jump from 1 to 3? So it just gives the team some real good tool sets to identify bottlenecks in your customer service experience, to just make sure you're servicing your customers well and not having high abandons or poor customer satisfaction scores.
No, agreed. Now, the last thing I'll show on the Explorer is we have a built-in BI tool, and that's based off your licensing. You'll have this create function where, although we offer 27 different dashboards and reports are available, if you want to create your own, you can easily do that through our create function here. So all you have to do is choose whether or not you want to create a dashboard or report, just give it a friendly name, and that will start the process. And I'll actually jump over into one that I've put together. Now, this is a dashboard that took me about 30 minutes to put together. And whether or not you're creating or modifying a dashboard, the process is still the same. What you're seeing is all these are different tiles. And just think of a tile is just different pieces of data with different filters applied with a different visualization that's applied on top of it. And that's how you go through and either modify existing tiles or add a new one. And I'll walk you through how easy it is to add a new tile or to add a new visualization. So we'll come in. The first thing you need to do is just choose a data set. The data sets, think of it as information related to a particular topic. So if I'm trying to answer questions about maybe agents or calls or numbers or ring groups, all I have to do is choose that data set, and all the relevant dimensions and measures that I need to analyze that are available for me. So in this case, we'll go into the calls analysis, and we'll do it from a perspective or a use case of a supervisor wants to see, do we have different performances on the weekdays compared to the weekend? Do we see longer maybe talk times on Monday than Saturday? Let's figure that out. So I can easily do that here. The first thing I do is just give my tile a friendly name. We'll call this one day of week. And then all I have to do is start adding in the different dimensions and measures. Now, if I don't know what they are, I can either come through and manually search for them, or I can just start typing in. And then once I have it, I'll go ahead and add it into my data set. So I'll add in day to week, and we'll add in the talk time. We'll put in the average talk time here. Okay, so those have been added into my data set. And then from the filters perspective, I have the option to either, by default, I can choose a date range or I can choose a particular time zone, but I'm not limited. If I want to add in any type of measure or dimension to use to filter on, I can easily do that to add in for additional filters. So if I want to target particular groups, I can easily add that in to customize how I want that data to look. We'll go ahead and run that. Now, as reports coming through, I have a lot of different visualizations I can choose from. Let's go ahead and make this Sunday through Saturday. And then I can just choose what visualization, everything from a tabular, column, bar chart, scatter plot, all the way down. If I wanted to make it a word cloud, I can easily do that, right? We have a lot of different visualization options that are available. And then for each of the different visualizations, you can configure how it looks. So if I wanted to maybe give a little bit of spacing, or I want to change the color, I can maybe customize and bring in my business color palette. So I can bring in business colors, apply them here. So it has that look and feel of the company that the dashboards are being created for. Maybe add some additional values or font sizes. And we'll go ahead and then save that. And this dashboard becomes available for me to add in. As you notice, as this tile comes in, It's very easy to place. Their dashboards are very responsive. So if I want to put it in a particular spot or maybe resize it, I can easily go ahead and do that, resize it to the size I'm looking for.
Hey, Ryan, there was a question. What if we have our own data warehouse data dashboard tool? Can we pull the information out of Talkdesk and put it into our own dashboard? So let's say somebody's already invested in a multi-system dashboard tool. How easy is it to get this data out and into an existing dashboard?
A great question. We have a suite of reporting APIs. That's very easy to take that data and bring it into maybe something like Tableau or Power BI, have that data brought in. So we do support those use cases. So if you have groups that have that BI tools that they want to have for themselves and then pull that data in, you can do that. And you can also empower your agents or supervisors to create their own dashboards through here as well. The other thing I'll show as part of this, the dashboards, is once you have it set up the way you like, you can, instead of using one of the dashboards that we have, you can make this your own dashboard. Under the settings, we have the option to have it auto refresh. So if I want to have this refresh maybe every couple seconds, or I want to have the overall dashboard report update every hour, but I have a couple key metrics that will have update every 5 seconds, I can go ahead and set that up. Now this could be my dashboard. So you have that power of the platform of being able to take the data, move it into a BI tool so you can get additional insights, combine it with other metadata, or you can also empower your supervisors or your agents to have access to their own custom dashboards that they can refresh. So you don't have to use what's out of the box, you can create your own. That's what makes it very powerful from a Talkdesk platform, is the ability to customize your own data. The other piece that I'll just kind of wrap up here that I didn't cover, we also offer within the tiles, you can create your own custom calculations. Just as you can with Excel, you can add in different formulas or maybe build on some logic on top of it. You can do the same thing and use that information in your reports. So Eric, I'll pause there for a second, see if there's any other questions before we move into Observe AI, questions about the reporting analytics capabilities.
Yep, no other questions at the moment. What we're pivoting into is Observe AI is.
Oh, Eric, did I lose you?
You did, because I muted myself. Thank you for that. Yeah, there were no other questions. What we're about to do is pivot into the Observe AI portion, which is just another analytics portion of the Talkdesk platform that gives you insight into the actual spoken words. So I've got a customer who manages a lot of different properties at the moment, and they have a dispatch center that hey, my toilet's clogged up, or my air conditioner's broken, or my plumbing, or it's too hot, it's too cold, or something, right? It's facilities management. And they have essentially created a analytics tool to be able to look for key words in the spoken language and generate reports out of that. So some of the key words they look for are mold and mildew or water leakage. So they're actually looking for someone speaking those words. And the Observe AI toolset allows you to take that word, put it into text, and begin to run analytics on it as well. It was pretty cool how you showed that word cloud, being able to do word clouds for live spoken words that are in the contact center, right? What's the most mentioned word out of this list of 20 in the last 30 minutes? Those kind of things. So it's pretty exciting stuff. They've integrated it with their dispatch system with Salesforce and Talkdesk, and it's this really clean experience for their agents and for their residents. They're also one of the ones who had to disperse to work from home and essentially did it in a matter of minutes and ready to go without any customer service disruption. So it's a good story.
And having a speech analytics platform is really key to getting in and understanding call drivers, performance issues, and trends. Having that insights without having to manually go through and try and review a lot of calls to get a sampling, having that easy and out of the box helps you really drive and understand your business. If you don't have that kind of tool set up, in some ways you're a little bit driving blind without that type of deep analytics. So before I think you go into Observe AI, I just want to show first that it's part of our App Connect store, and the power of Talkdesk with our API-centric, right, platform is that we can offer different App Connect partners here. Within the App Connect portal, you can come through and browse and add different applications just as you would from like your iPhone, right? You can look at, do we want to add a voice analytics platform? Well, we have 3 different ones you could look and explore, or agent productivity tools. You can easily go through, choose which one you like, and then we've done all the work for you, so it's click to install. And as Eric was mentioned, that clicks not code, that's what we're talking about here. That kind of integration is easy to do and get that set up and running for you. So it's really simple and easy to start.
Yeah, I heard there was a rule in order to make it into the App Connect store, it has to be a single click install, right?
Yes, there are a couple that
Probably
I'd
some
say just
configurations.
configuration, but
Yeah.
for the install and getting up and running, yeah, it's a click to go. And that's why we want to have our App Connect partners, that integration work done, is because we want to make it very easy for our customers to get up there and try it. And that's part of the other option is all of our App Connect stores partners, you have a free 30-day trial. So you can get in there and make sure it's something that works for you. So if you want to get in there and explore, you can easily set that up, get that integration going, and then test it out to make sure you're getting the value that you want out of the product. Okay, we'll go ahead and jump in to Observe AI. So with Observe AI, when I come into the landing page here, I'm coming in as an admin. So I have views to all the different teams, but you can set up your dashboards based off permissions. So if you want to have different supervisors or agents only seeing certain information, you can set that up so they only have relative information that's important to them. So they have the different teams or different views you can set up. Now with the filters on the left-hand side, we're bringing in the call data, and we're also bringing in all the surrounding data with it. So information like about the agent or the ring group, the disposition, performance metrics like hold time, talk time. This is information you can use to start filtering and understanding your data. So if you want to look at maybe a customer survey perspective, right? What do our positive customers or positive surveys say compared to a negative survey? I can easily go through and filter those and then start looking at the different categories and moments. And when we start talking about a moment, think about a moment as it's a point or a particular topic. So in case Eric mentioned of mold, right? Then that could be a particular moment that they're looking for, somebody mentioning mold. So you can have a category and then the different moments that go through it. And you can easily add different moments as well. So if I want to add a new moment, all I have to do is give it a name, choose what category I want to go into, and then just to select, is it something that's present or not present? So maybe I'm looking at a verification scenario where if verification was missed, then it could be a negative experience. So I could have that as something that's not present and being a negative item. Then I can start putting in keywords or using the Observe AI analytics to detect when verification wasn't done and have that being categorized. I can also select.
I see that some of our customers online today probably have some regulatory requirements around making sure certain statements are made during conversations, and this is where you would be able to prove the positive or the negative that yes, this statement was made, or you find that a new agent has not been reading the correct statement to ensure compliance with some of the regulatory guidelines. So it's a powerful tool to find training opportunities for folks from a regulatory perspective.
Yeah, and it's really easy to find, and not only find the information, but also compare all your agents' performance. So you want to see how every one of your agents is performing in a certain category. You can set that up so you have that 100% review that's comparable across all your agents and how they're being evaluated to see how they perform. And I'll actually show that here in just a moment. But that's a great call, Eric, about how you can use the platform to really monitor and understand what's happening in the business.
Yeah, and also creating, sales competitions, right? Who is the best at upselling a customer? And so when you can look at categories and find out who is offering our special promotion for a free toaster with every new checking account, right? Who is making that and even create, sort of that friendly competition within your agents who can close the most and offer this this upgrade promotion. So it's really powerful in many different ways when you can view and get inside the actual words that are spoken to your customers and by your customers and analyze that data in a way that just brings insight out. Otherwise, you got to listen to every call and write it down real quick, right? That's basically what this tool is doing. It's translating this spoken language into text and now analyzing all of that information. It's very powerful. It's the only way to really truly tell what's going on in your contact center is to analyze the words that are actually spoken, the sentiment that is given.
That's a great call, and I think I'll actually segue based off that, Eric, into the leaderboard section here, where you can see I've got all my agents, how many calls they've taken, and I can start looking at their different categories, and the different moments, and how they perform. And this is where you could do some of those observations. So in this case, we mentioned verification. Based off the verification, I can see, that Dave has 81% compared to, Barney at 62%. There's an opportunity saying, hey, there's a difference here. I can look at 100% of the calls and see how all of my agents are doing and where the opportunities are. And if I want to go through and then maybe start having that coaching observation, where are some of the gaps and how do I improve it? That's where you can start having very targeted coaching instead of randomly picking calls and hopefully you get the right topic to maybe improve the agent experience. I can use this data to say, where do agents have opportunities? And then I can start using that for targeted coaching to improve the experience. So not only does it help from that competition and how are all your agents doing, but then your supervisors can use this data and that analytics to have very targeted coaching and measure the improvement, something you really aren't able to do without some type of speech analytics platform. Okay, we've got a couple minutes left here, so I'll jump into the call section, and I think we'll wrap it up with this. So on the call section, we have the same filters we had before, but now I also have filters for the different categories and the different moments. So if I want to look at particular moments that are taking place, I can filter on those. And then I can also look at all the different information about the call, so the agent name. I can look at the different moments, so I can either sort by the moments or just hover over. So I can see for this particular call, what moments were captured. So was there empathy, call hold, what were some of the negative or neutral items that took place? And then if there's any coaching comments, and I'll show the coaching comments here in a minute. So once I have a call that I want to be able to evaluate or start listening, and I've filtered down to the particular call I'm looking for, all I have to do is hit view. That'll pop up another window to where I can start going ahead and monitoring the call. Now, because we have the dual channel recording, I can see the agent and the customer side of the conversation, and I can see where all the different moments took place. And you'll notice here I have this first line, says welcome to star star. That's the other powerful part of this analytics tool, is you can start to redact sensitive information. So not only does it remove it from the call recording, so if someone's listening to it, they won't hear that information, but it also removes it from the transcript here. So you have that security of knowing that sensitive information has been removed. I can easily go through and just start playing, or if I want to maybe speed it up the recording and do twice as fast to quickly review pieces, I can do that, or I can go ahead and also download. I can easily skim through, so if I want to look at maybe a particular moment, let's go ahead and look at the call hold here. It'll jump down to it, and I can see where that moment took place, and hit play to listen to that segment. And this is where I could also add comments. So if I'm looking for a coaching opportunity, maybe there's a customer said, hey, I want to cancel a service, and the agent doesn't do a good save opportunity. You could come into that save moment, hit a comment saying, hey, you could have offered the customer this. That information will then be available to the agent to review and understand where are some of their coaching opportunities. On the left-hand side, I can easily filter down as well. So if I want to look at maybe particular moments and just scan through different moments, I can easily just click on those, go to those different segments, and see what took place. So if I want to scan maybe a particular item that I'm coaching my agent, it's easy to go through all those different moments. So you can take a very long call that maybe a lot of times people wouldn't listen to because it's such a long call. You can scan those for opportunities, quickly provide that feedback to your agent, so the agents know that any call can be monitored and provide that feedback. And it makes it very easy for your supervisors to have the data to quickly monitor and provide feedback for your agents as well. So Eric, I think that kind of wraps it up unless there's any other questions.
Yeah, there was one more question that came in. What about virtual agents? Does Talkdesk support virtual agents? And maybe that question is sort of um, so in my experience, a virtual agent is sort of you've also heard it as a chat bot, perhaps something that automates the customer interaction a little bit. But there's also another sort of virtual agent um, implementation. So there's the customer facing and then there's the agent facing. So one of them, sometimes people will tell me, Eric, I don't want to do virtual agents. It's too automated. My customers aren't going to like it. And I can totally appreciate that. But there's something that is referred to in the industry as agent assist or agent coaching from a chatbot. And so what that looks like is the virtual agent is listening with some AI capabilities and technology to listen to what the customer is saying and predict where the agent should go next in order to help them facilitate. So it's more of a coaching just on the agent side that says, I need to, customer calls in and says, I need to process a return on something that you shipped me that was broken when it received. And the AI component is looking for I need to process a return, and instantly it'll pop up the link to the return policy so that the agent could say, well, thank you very much. Can I email you a link to our return policy and the process and procedures? There's some forms you need to fill out. I've got that link right here. And so from a virtual agent, there's a virtual agent that's customer facing, but then there's also that agent assist virtual capability that creates some AI capabilities that speed net new agents up quickly, because what it's doing is it's presenting the information to the agent real time based on what the customer is typing or saying in the contact center. So it can be on both sides of that equation. I know we got a couple minutes left, but I don't know if you had any other comments around that, Ryan.
No, and I think you covered the agent assist item perfectly. The only other item I would add is we do offer kind of those chat bots. So we have two different styles. We have one that's a keyword matching, that if somebody says, apples, then this is the response I give to when the keyword apples is mentioned. We also have another one that has natural language processing, and it can pull in variables. So if you're looking at for the appointment reminder, so some of those self-serve options, maybe after hour support that customers can interact with to do updates, that's something that we offer as well through our omni-channel product.
Yeah, in the past, I've dealt with a solution where it was a customer that has a lot of junkyards around the country, and what they do is they inventory their year, make, and model and parts that are available on all the cars, and they push that up to a database. And they've created this virtual agent that allows you to call in and say 1992 Honda Civic flux capacitor, and it'll go into the database and read that language and automatically say, yes, we have 3 flux capacitors at this site and 2 at this site and 1 at this site. Which one, enter in or speak your zip code, and I'll text you a link to the one that's closest to where you live, and you can go to the junkyard and get your own part off there. So and that doesn't require any agent interaction, right? They're simply speaking the name of the inventory piece that they need, and the AI the natural language processing capable chatbot is able to pull out the relevant information, the year, make, model, and the part that they're looking for, search an inventory of existing parts, and then present the address back to the customer real time. Would you like me to text that to you? So that they've got it on the phone, they hit the text, and away they go. So some neat capabilities when you begin to engage the virtual agents, some automations there, some of the high volume, low tech requests that come in, beginning to think about how you can automate those. And because virtual agents, they work 24/7 and they don't take vacations. So it's a pretty reliable way to get a lot of the questions answered. It is 11:59, so I do want to honor the 12 o'clock stop time. I also wanted to thank Ryan for helping us today and showing us all the great things on the Talkdesk platform. One of the things I do want to do here is I'm going to just, let's see here, let me share the screen real quickly. So if you have questions for us, this is the IPC website, ipctech.com. Under the contact us link here, if you reach out to your account rep if you'd like to explore this a little further, or if you don't know, or maybe you're a new prospect, maybe you're not an IPC customer yet, but would like to investigate that, you can reach out to the contact form, and we'll have somebody reach back out to you and set up some conversations. 12 o'clock on the nose. Thank you, everybody. Stay healthy and safe, and we'll get through this nonsense together. Thanks so much. Have a good day.